representing the human race. Still not signed to a clan yet, but with a good performance here, he's definitely able to do that. In the bottom left, we have 120, the best earning player in 2019, representing Newbie and the WGL Grand Finals champion of January.
So what is this best of 5 gonna look like? How much are these two players gonna experiment and perhaps gonna try to go for a bit of a cheeky strat, a bit of a curveball? You are expecting this from Sok, aren't you?
I do. I absolutely do, especially on this map. This was the map where he showed the Blood Mage, and we have a little bit of a different early game here as well. It is not the Blood Mage this time, but it's also not the Archmage. The hero was set in stone for many, many years, but on some maps, like Last Refuge, maybe sometimes even Echo Isles, you can opt for this Mountain King for high nuke.
But on this map, especially surprisingly, usually MK, you have to play it with a fast expansion. You really can't play it on one base. You have to go tier 3, you have to get the big tech rolling, and that can't be reliably done really on one base only, so you have to go 2 base. Usually when you want to play MK first, if you want to do that, you have to be able to check a couple of boxes. Easy expansion has to be one of them. Easy expansion creeps, that is. And also Mercamp support. Neither of which is the case and concealed. So this MK first is definitely going to come as a surprise, not only to us, but also to 120. And I'm really interested to see how Sok wants to make this work.
Yeah, in the later stages, 120 definitely has to be afraid of this Mountain King, because as you see, there is the Stormbolt, high damage, nuke, and disable. And we've seen Thorzane versus Wan not too long ago. And if you have good surrounding skills, with Stormbolt especially, you can surround high gold units like Fiends early on. We got a little bit of an ensnare here, so first blood drawn by Sok, but 120 gets the return kill immediately. There's already 120 experience here from this camp, but the Mountain King is coming in for the creep jack.
Gonna aim for that Stormbolt right away. Not really. Still struggling here to get to level 2. Oh, never mind, he's gonna hit now.
Yeah. So would love to see if this is Bash or Clap later. Against Mass Fiends, Clap can be a viable option, but I think on the overlay in the upper left, we see Bash being skilled. Tier 2 on the way for 120 with Fiends, 19 supply here, not too much to work with, but also Sok, the Korean, is going for a tier 2 and no risky tier 1 expansion with the Mountain King. Very understandable choice.
But still a very unusual one. One base tech with MK is so weird. On ladder you may be able to see this every now and then, but on the pro level, really not. Stormbolt, surround, oh, but anti-surround with that Fiend.
Well done by 120. Quick reactions here to block the entire encirclement with that one Fiend without losing anything and saving a lot of HP on the Death Knight. As you know, there is no healing for the undead in the early game, so keeping the HP range in the green is super important, especially since he's not level 2 and doesn't have additional HP regen from the Unholy Aura yet. But Sok is pressuring quite nicely, like keeping the DK away from high levels for such a long time, only with an MK. I mean, he's delaying his level 3 as well, but if you keep the DK on level 1, that's an absolutely good trade.
And I'm surprised how well this is working out so far. Again, a very unusual early game. I don't even know what this MK is going to go into. Of course, always you have to be considering what kind of army you want to hit towards the late game. Is he going to go tier 2? Is he going to go tier 3? Is he going to expand at one point? For the time being, he's only hanging around here with the footies, trying to slow down this DK. Perhaps hope for a bolt surround. But with only 4 footies here, the kill potential isn't really all that high.
Yeah, you need to be absolutely perfect to get the surrounds with those 5 units. We're gonna see a little transition by Sok as he's going for a Blacksmith rather early, so he can get the first Rifleman out before the tech is done. And here we see it for higher damage output, which of course helps creeping. Sok now hoping for the Tome of Experience. The Spider Crab could provide one. The chances aren't that big, but no. Tome of Intelligence, nice for the Mountain King anyway to get a little bit of mana. 120, level 2.3 now. Gloves of Haste and the Spider Socks. Nice for the attack speed of the Lich later, but nothing really big for the DK himself. 2 Fiends. No Skull and no Acolyte. Oh, there is an Acolyte coming. It's a tier 2 expansion for 120.
In this game, just the entire normal metagame has to be thrown out the window. It's an MK first, 1 base teching, and it's 120. Tier 2 expanding. This is all so strange. And both these players here are going to have to adjust on the fly. Oh, but the MK actually has the right read. Is going to see this creeping happening. Oh no, it was nighttime. I think he just barely slipped by, but 120 may have seen him because 120 backed up. Perhaps Sock not looking at the minimap there for just a moment.
I kind of like the early game of Sock. He didn't invest too much into footmen at all. When we see the games of TH and Infi, which we will later, they always mass up these footmen, like 9 footmen or so. That's of course a lot of gold. Sock is saving all that gold for the tier 2 and for the faster tier 2, but we see no sign of an expansion, which is, as he said, very unusual. He's gonna get the Magi now, that is level 3, and this is where the Mountain King becomes really scary.
Yep, and his MK really is working out pretty well so far. Just, you know, utilizing his strength of Stormbolt's surround threat, and the Fiends being so few in number, 120 had to play carefully for a long time. Now almost level 3 himself, finding the parry up, and it's an AM second.
Yes, that is kind of surprising. I thought he would be going for a Blood Mage for this ultimate nuke. Speaking of nuke, nice coil to get a kill. This ultimate nuke of Banish Bolt. But we don't see that here at all. Rather supporting the casters. Nice coil by 120. Last seconds of the kill goes to him on this footman, and Sock's forces are kind of dwindling at the moment thanks to the first Nova, but he gets the Fiend kill in return, maybe the second one, and this is the strength of a level 2 Stormbolt.
Exactly. So strong at killing single units right there. The coil was trying to save one of those Fiends at least, but too much damage follow up as well with those rifles, with with AM and the Water Elementals. 120 is finding return kills. This is gonna be another priest to die if a coil comes in, but actually the skeletons might be good enough. 120 wants to find more kills. He has no more Novas to use, but with the statue here, 120 still gets something done. Oh my god, the heal from the priest.
Yeah, man. Hero priest, and now there's another Stormbolt. Maybe he can get that Lich or force a town portal, trying to go for the second hero. There's Surround. Will he swap something? He has no consumables to work with, but the coil is there. This kind of exposes the Death Knight. That was the last one. Can he get in range for another Stormbolt? Doesn't look like it. No boots on the second hero, so 120 escapes. Expansion coming, tier 3 on the way as well. For Sock, no tier 3 at all. It's just rifle casters.
Alright, there's a red dot down there on the minimap, so this might be a scout, a sentry ward. Okay, so he knows exactly about the expansion, what's happening down there. AM into MK and Rifle Priest is kind of normal to see.
Sweet steal by 120. He's getting so much experience from this. The Nova got the big one, and he followed up with right clicks. Level 2 on that Lich, level 3 on the DK. The favorite is lining up for the power spike that Undeads have at tier 3. He arrived there. He has attack advantage, he has a level advantage, and he has the economy advantage. Sock did a pretty good early game, but things are starting to go the way of the newbie player.
He's gonna pick up the orb here pretty soon as well. A third hero is gonna follow most likely as well. Undeads usually play third hero almost always, perhaps not against Night Elf, but Sock wants to go for a big push before the expo is really paid off. And 120 is going to need to come over there to defend. He can't TP there because there's no Necropolis.
Indeed, he's going to cancel that Ziggurat. Nice timing by Sock. He's not unsummoning the Haunted Gold Mine. And that's a mistake. He doesn't get the gold back. The Acolyte is dead as well. Of course, Sock has to spend some time killing this, but absolutely worth it. Keeping the Undead on tier 1. And what's coming for 120? It's basically only Destroyers at this point. No casters, no Abominations, no tier 3 hero. And against that, Rifle Casters is okay. And now we go tier 3, Dispel upgrade for the Priests, and Workshop as well for Gyrocopters. Biggest creep spot on the map for 120 now. Cardguard pipe off inside. This is the best item for Undead in the game.
Absolutely. Undead's dream. It's all about the mana for the Undead race, all about the nukes and the spell usage. It still was a successful move out though, and 120 even trying to go for the expansion again as we're so late into the game. But now...
Sandwich time!
Exactly.
Militia coming from the north, a TP out immediately, saving that Destroyer with the coil. A few losses, but only on the peasants. Nice timing by Sock to realize that his opponent is in the middle here and he can sandwich him. 350 gold gone for the town portal and the investment into this expansion. The Undead army will not rise in strength significantly in the next 1.5 minutes.
Also kind of low mana here is 120 by the way. But he's still moving forward. The Sentry Ward, by the way, once again there gave the great vision for that move in from Sock.
No TPs, aiming for the Death Knight right away. There's still one more Stormbolt, maybe two. Statues, missed rally, rare mistake.
Yeah.
Fixes it in time.
Nova once again hitting the Priest with a couple of right click. That should be an easy kill. Still no third hero here for 120. He was supply blocked for a long time. Third hero might be coming in now. Once again, Militia called from the main. DK eats a Stormbolt once again. But with that potion, he should be safe. Militia forcing the kite backwards right there. And 120 is not losing anything so far.
Level 4 on the Death Knight. Nice kiting indeed. There's one more Nova in now. And this is the best spell against this backline here of Riflemen and Casters. 48 supply for Sock. We have 49 for 120. They're going toe-to-toe, but the Undead Army seems to be a little better thanks to this Orb of Corruption. Level 2, finally. Ooh, the next Rifleman about to fall. Nice saves by 120 again and again and again, saving the Destroyer above the trees, so not able to attack them is Sock.
Yeah, 120 may have lost one Fiend here. He's gonna lose a second one. Oh no, the coil once again coming in. But he's trading so much better. MK, when he has the mana, he's pretty threatening, but once he doesn't anymore, he doesn't do much at all.
Man, this Brilliance Aura. This Brilliance Aura is so good. He constantly has the mana. Again, he has the mana for a coil, so he can actually save the next unit if there should be some damage coming, but it isn't. Sock losing 10 supply and more. DK is chasing him here now. Even without the TP, the ballsy move from 120 paying off. And the expansion established on the back of this fight.
Players' forces are under attack.
And finally gonna start running here. Ghouls were coming in against the harass, and now Sock is truly with his back against the wall. He has a third hero Paladin now, which is going to be very helpful for a bit of healing against this nuke. Speaking of nuke, AM is still a very viable target at not even 500 HP.
We have a Paladin third now for a little bit of healing on the human side. Did he bring a staff? I kind of doubt it. Nope, no staff, only a TP, otherwise no consumables. The Holy Light will help the first Gyrocopters out. I don't think 120 has wept yet. Big fight for the Rock Golem, but the Nova is coming in. 120 wants to do the job here. Big healing potion, but again, losses after losses for Sock. And now we have the Dark Ranger for the silence.
Yeah, this was a costly creep camp indeed. Gonna lose more casters here by the looks of it. Actually, Lich is out of mana, so no more Nova to fear for the time being. Nice silence. Double silence there onto Paladin and MK as they clumped up. And more kills, kill after kill. Possibly skeletons coming in, aiming for the Lich now. MK has decent mana. What's gonna be the target?
Not using it yet. No Stormbolt nor Holy Light. And 120 is getting so many kills. Holy Light saves this Rifleman. He absolutely needs the damage, but why is he not using his mana? He has 207. He could throw 3 Stormbolts. Now he's under pressure himself. It's a Holy Light. But, man, these coils, these aggressive coils are constantly getting the kills.
Once again, 120 spell usage seems to be impeccable. And even with the Stormbolts, is there enough follow-up damage now? He's trying for it on the Lich, and actually, there's no coil anymore. Nice realization. The Lich might be falling with the Holy Light and the right clicks. But the long-range coil.
In time, and he counters this with the Nova. So what's the Mountain King going to do now? He needs a potion, trying to swap it, uses it. Saves the first hero with that. One more Stormbolt to use. Where is it gonna land? Most likely on the DK, as there's still no TP, but the big potion. Sock is struggling. Reinforcements coming in handy. The Destroyer is still up. Usually you nuke them with Riflemen fairly early on, but not here. This is the nuke on the Lich. He has to get something done, but the coil is ready. Counter nuke. Holy Light saves him, but for how much longer? Paladin about to die. No Divine Shield for him. GG by Sock. And the favorite prevails on map number 1. It's 1-0 for 120.
With this very unusual early game, in the end it turns out the Undead is the one with the expansion. And the MK was scary there in the early game, in the mid-game stages as well, with that Stormbolt kill potential. But it kind of, in the late game, didn't seem to be working out too well anymore. And as you said correctly in that game, that Catgus pipe was pure gold. That was worth way more than 500 gold. One of the best items in the game, arguably especially for Undead.
Yeah, going for that camp was kind of greedy, I guess, or risky at least. We saw how it could have been punished, but he was just this 3 seconds too early for Sock to punish this. And those 3 seconds gave him the Catgus pipe and, yeah, the best item.
It cost him the TP to get out of there, but well worth it. A little lucky, you could say, with that item drop, sure. But still, outstanding micro there by 120. Had a really long, drawn-out fight, actually, and buying more time for this expansion. Took forever to get it up and running, really. I don't even think it paid off too well there towards the end. Just, I think that's something that sometimes goes underrated with 120. he stays at maximum range perfectly. It doesn't sound like much, but if you want to control your army to the best of its abilities, the fiends with the range and the orb of corruption shots, he always finds the target in front to focus, and it's so hard to counter focus because the rifles have to go into get into range first. Same for the paladin, same for everything else. And 1-0 abuses that range, abuses the terrain as well. We saw there how the destroyer was very well microed above the trees for a long time. So finally a flying machine came in, but one flying machine doesn't exactly counter a destroyer, and I feel like you could see the downside of playing Human one base. Human always feels like it becomes really strong when everything is finally there, when he gets to 70 supply, perhaps even higher. But when you're struggling with 55, 60, and you have 1 unit of this, 1 unit of that, it feels a little scrappy and not all put together. So
Sok was kind of aggressive early on. Do you think it's the right choice to harass 1-0 because he's maybe the best micro in all of Warcraft, and forcing him into those little skirmishes? Is that the right choice, or should you just dodge fights until you have your expansion established?
I think with that opening, maybe you have to play this aggressively because
with a Mountain King.
Yeah,
maybe,
with a Mountain King. Like Concealed Hill is not an easy map to creep on, whereas for the undead with skeletons, it's okay. With Water Elementals, perhaps you can power creep the map as well, but with an MK only, without healing, without Shadow Priests, I don't think that would have worked. So I think there he kind of had to be this aggressive. Again, it was a really unusual opening and start to that game. So yeah, 1-2-0. He tried to Sok tried to confuse him, I think, a little bit with that opening, but it didn't work out. We're going into Echo Isles next. This could be a more standard game. This could be a fast expansion game.
Yeah, we're still trying to get the Chinese stream to work so we can show you the venue and the players, of course. I think we have to log in, and then it's supposed to work. We'll see. Did this work now? Was it expired? Yeah, a little on the fly here, as we didn't know this before. Log in.
But I think the first game was at least somewhat promising. It wasn't like Sok got stomped. It wasn't like there was absolutely no chance. It wasn't like nothing worked out, which kind of was the case the last time these two met. Sok still, has what it takes to at least make it a close game. Again, 1-0 is the big favorite here. First place in the Super League. Sok coming in from the second place, from the second division. Of course, that was a while ago. I think Sok has improved since then. And 1-0, well, he's just pretty stable. He may be weird with his strategies every now and then, very experimental at times, but his shape has been pretty impressive for a while now, I think.
I agree. We were talking about these tier 2 Korean players for a long time. When will we see the next Korean player making it into the best group of people? We had the prospects of Soin, Chimiko, and now Sok has, I think, the best shape of 2019 so far. Soin made a big splash in the Taidu Esports Masters 2017, I guess, where he ended up top 3. Chimiko always has these moments, these micro moments, which leaves us in awe, these surrounds, the blocks, all that. But in the greater scheme of things, he lacks maybe decision making and macro, so he couldn't really make it. He had top 3 performances as well just recently in the WGL qualifiers, so I don't want to take anything away from him. But Sok at WGL was, I think, the best tier 2 Korean player we've seen, almost making it out of the group, just failing one map against Fly, and it was so close. So with a little bit more luck, we would have seen Sok in the top 8, and that's his road, I guess, in 2019.
Yeah, I would agree. Another player from Korea who, I don't know if we consider him tier 1 or tier 2, but who's been improving a lot recently is Focus, who actually did very poorly in the W League last year, but now is on a roll. But because of the performance previously, we're not going to see him here. But H&W Masters and so on, he's looking very strong there. But 1-0 here, once again, impressing. Last year was pretty successful for him with a number of tournaments, including Mass Coliseum going towards him. WGL, that wasn't the greatest for him though. That has to be said. WGL is considered as kind of the world championship, and there 1-0 last time, and the one previous to that was really disappointing. Last time not even getting out of the groups. Not a single undead getting out of those groups then either.
Okay, chat, we need your help. How do we disable the chat on Doyu? It's not working the way it was before. We're logged in now. Usually it says you can block the chat if you're logged in. but for us kind of not working.
If you guys know, yeah, tell us. Would be a great help.
It's kind of weird, but this is how things are sometimes. Still baffles me that they love to have the chat above the video, but China, I guess.
I actually heard that's even in some theaters that's popular,
Yeah,
where you can text during watching a movie and then it goes across.
Imagine there's like one guy who spoils every movie. It's just his enjoyment is to go to movies he's already seen and spoiler it. Huh?
I think they're gonna ban him though. That wouldn't be nice. We don't want to do that. Speaking of which, no spoilers in chat, please. We have a bit of a break here before the second game. What is this gonna be? If we start off with an MK first already, does Sok have other pocket strats in his arsenal? Or does he deem it doable to just play the standard straight up, go AM first, fast expansion, tier 3, and then triple hero, and I guess knights, and so on. That would be the most standard, but you, as if I heard that right, would not recommend this path for him?
Not really. We can take a look at the Chinese stream real quick. Oh, no, now it's gone. I thought they had the maps there with the picks and bans. Did you catch that by any chance?
I'm afraid not.
Oh, man, Remo. Talking too much, not paying attention to the important things in life. We have an important match coming up. After this, it could be match points for 1-2-0. Will we see an equalizer? On stream, we see Sok and 1-2-0 now. Of course, wearing the newbie jackets. Very focused, man. Mouth open, grubby style.
As we are getting ready.
All right.
Here we go now. Second map. It is time for Echo Isles. Something, by the way, that is really popular in the European meta. It's Rifle and Pally.
Yes.
Which I don't think I've seen a single time on NetEase.
Me neither.
Among the Chinese community.
The question is always how much are they paying attention to what Europe is doing. It was the big show match of Thorzane versus Happy, and usually they are very, very interested in what Happy is doing. So I can't imagine they watch this. But no one is picking it up. No TH, no Infi, no Sok. We go for an Archmage first this time as we are at Echo Isles. This is Sok's map choice. His favorite map then that was remaining in the pool. On the other side we have no clowny shenanigans with the Lich first or Dreadlord first or even Firelord first from 1-2-0. It's again the Death Knight.
Alright, so looking so far so standard aside from the graveyard placement, which is a little bit weird, but that shouldn't impact the game too much. The big question here is this gonna be fast expansion or not? Fast Expo or one-base rifle play are kind of the two options. Echo Isles lends itself to a fast expansion, easy merc camp access, really easy expansion to creep. So I would assume this is what we're gonna see. First game, one-base play didn't work out. Sok may change it up now.
Yeah, I think he has to. With this being so easy, of course, you can always argue that if things are so clear, like strategies are so obvious, you could go for a timing push or something to surprise your opponent, but pushes against Undead are always so hard because you don't want to fight in his base, and where do you find the fights on this map? Maybe in the middle, but rather not, I think. So the best advice, I think, would be to go for this expansion for Sok. Acolyte is scouting, Footman is scouting as well. We see this more and more from Human to send just one Footman away to harass.
Is he going for the special Remo creep route?
Special Remo creep route.
Going for the merchant first. You can do this with the DK and just the skeletons. Oh, he's doing it! He was checking out our YouTube channel. Here we go. Yeah, as you can see here, the DK tanks the damage from the Berserkers since they're piercing. He doesn't take too much. And with the normal damage from the skeletons, they die pretty quickly. There's one big Ogre Mauler left after taking out the two Berserkers, but that one doesn't do too much damage. But it's getting scouted now by Sok. The Footy should try to harass this and will be doing that. So it's not going to be too easy for 1-0 to pull this off, but shouldn't be too hard either.
Sok is putting some damage onto the skeletons, so he lowers the damage of 1-2-0's army. The Mauler clubbers one of those skeletons to death, I guess, to dust. So, can the Archmage and the Footman get the last hit here? That would prevent level 2. The Archmage is level 2, but no. Secures it with the coil. Wand of Illusion for more scouting, but the DK is already at 50%.
Yeah, and just the Footy being here and the AM saying hi, that drops him lower in HP, so that it makes it a little bit more difficult. Militia are moving out now. The downside with this early creep route from the Undead is that he's really low on skeletons already. Only 1 charge is left. And of course, the low HP DK. So the level 2 is acquired quickly, but the follow-up harass isn't so easy to make successful.
That's quite some duration on at least 2 of the footmen, but Sock seems confident enough to start this now. There's 1 coil killing 1 footman. This leaves the coil on cooldown for a bit. This troll trapper should go to Sock, and it does. 2.5, but the big one is still up for grabs. The ogre goes to Sock as well with the gloves of haste. Archmage is rather low. Has to be careful for more coils because there's 2 more coming.
And the skeletons are gone. As I said, the charges are rather low, but he's just hunting him down. Oh. Or not. Changes his mind now. With the first Fiend coming in, there's actually backpack, which we didn't see in the Chinese meta for a long time. It delays the tier 2 tech a little, but with more Rods of Necromancy now coming in, he can keep up the pressure. Skeletons once again back into this. Coils flying in as well. That means only 1 coil is left. The AM, though, still has to be careful. At less than 200, still the squishiest hero in the game, but at least he's fast, so he can run away. May want to opt for the boots as well, but at the moment, he doesn't have the time for this. And it's starting to get expensive at the expansion, with more and more peasants falling.
Can he hold on until the tower is there? The Fiend is dropping low as well. That's why 120 was saving this coil for him. So the Archmage must not be afraid to be nuked. 2 new militia coming as the skeletons are still putting in the damage. No micro by Sock here really. And this one will also be killed. Man, this expansion is already so delayed by just 2 skeletons in the end.
That was absolutely successful harass.
Oh, no block here, but there's an illusion. DK has to be, the Archmage has to be careful in the end. Level up saves him for now. And a Fiend died to the footman pressure. But man, this hero skeleton,
oh my
this
God.
I would love to have a kill counter now, as we do have in StarCraft. This must be like 5 kills for these 2 guys.
Yeah, I think it was 5 across those 2. And their friends from earlier. More peasants coming from the main, but this was one hell of a harass. And 2 peasants are still really hurt. The AM being so low HP is such a big problem. If he was full HP, he could just deal with this easily, but no. He has to be... Oh my god, how many peasants is this? I think it's 8 peasants at this point.
Well, we are at Take TV Studios, so if you're an old schooler, you remember this game of Take versus Pollux, where he lost like 120 peasants across this game. This is lining up to be such a game. Of course, 120 was teching behind this. The Lich is coming, more Fiends and statues as well. So the peasant slaughter will continue. He's a little unlucky. This town hall did still not finish. He has to wait for the militia time for the duration to be over. And the tech is so far away for Sock.
Sock made one really big mistake. That was not using Water Elementals. I think he was trying to save his mana until level 2 Water Elementals, but that's not the right play. Just spam those Water Elementals and make sure you don't lose so many peasants. He has lost so many at this point. It's gonna be so hard to come back into this. He gets us around, but guess what? It's just an illusion.
And the tower got cancelled as well. Yeah, distracted. Now the footmen are a little out of position to defend this. Water Elemental is putting in some damage on this Fiend. The Archmage still low. Got the boots of speed now to be able to run away, but you know what slows down an Archmage with boots? It's a Lich. And he's at the tavern right now. Can he sniff out the movement of the Archmage? He sees him. Not willing to go for, or not the quickest reactions by 120.
There's one coil. He's got Coil Nova. With now level 2 coil, this AM has to be so careful.
But he's not focusing on that hero. He's focusing on the economy. He's focusing on the footmen. He wants to tear down these footmen, these peasants once again. There's plenty of coils, or should be like 2 coils at least. Fiends are starting to get low. We don't have defend, so there's still plenty of damage coming in from these Fiends. Can he get a kill? Kind of needs one. But positioning with the Archmage is so difficult now. No Mountain King at sight, of course.
The footies are buying good time, though. And that's what they're there for. Buy time for the tech, for the towers, for the shop. And before there's statues here for 120, he can't trade too easily. Once those come in with the additional region, the footies are going to have a tougher time. Creeps waking up, throwing out a couple of ensnares. And finally, these Water Elementals are here. These also help with the buying of the time.
3 level 2 Water Elementals. Ideally, he would love to get the statue. He's getting... Oh no, the coil is of course there. The coil is always there. Loses a footman in the process. This Fiend micro here on this one. This Fiend is low for, I don't know, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And Sock was never able to kill it. This is just magnificent micro by 120 at this point.
Yeah, and again, it's the problem with the AM on low HP. If he was high HP, he could be looking for those chase down kills, but it was never possible because he suffered too much damage in the early. It's so important for both these races to not take too much damage in the early game. But because that did happen, Sock's still under pressure. Lich almost level 2 already. He didn't really creep anything, he just found so many kills. And 1-0's tier 3 is quickly approaching.
Indeed, 1/4 remaining. The Lich has still one Nova, one tower only, but it's soon to be destroyer push time. Archmage has a shop up here now, so finally back in the green HP range.
Getting a statue would be a big find, but AM may have to dive deep for this. DK waiting at the tavern, wants to go for the Dark Ranger higher most likely, and the AM being zoned away with this one Nova. But again, the unit force at least being pushed across the map. More time for those towers, more time for the tech.
And no Dark Ranger. This excursion to the tavern was for nothing. More footmen coming. He has the fend now. Naga second.
Oh no, is he going for this Orb of Fire strat?
No way.
It was really popular among the Koreans for a long time. She's alright here for the trading. The right clicks, the slowdown from the arrow. Oh, but guess what? Naga on Naga action. Haven't seen this in a while. Going for the AM right away. He's slowed down. There is no Nova just yet, though. So he gets away.
So much experience from Water Elementals in the past 2 minutes, so the Lich is getting up 2-2. There's so much right-click damage now. Lich misses the orb, but he is at tier 3. Oh, okay, I thought it was a Fiend maybe carrying that orb. And the Naga as well. Thing is, you can't coil the Naga, so she's always a little squishy. No Blacksmith yet, so he can't go for Rifleman, which is absolutely necessary as the Destroyer upgrade is at 66%.
And of course, Sock knows that the Orb of Corruption is far away. I think that's exactly the pickup he's looking for. Seeing that Orb of Corruption away from the opponent. Mass repair now from the peasants. Trying to keep this tower alive. It's all about buying time again. Buying time until finally you have the big army. But once again, so many losses being suffered. And one more tower being cancelled. Not even repairing anymore. He needs militia from the main. He needs something. Finally the second hero is coming in. The Naga and the AM here trying to push back. But the coil! He didn't see that coming. Neither did we. And the first hero dies on level 3.
Now no Water Elementals and no Brilliance Aura. The Naga has to defend it on her own. Maybe go for the Lich kill, but with what? He has nothing left. He doesn't even have enough units to surround anything. And this Naga with the Frost Armor is doing so good. No Fork Lightning here to execute, to electrocute this Lich. And 1-0 is just dominating this game from minute 2.5 on, I think.
Yeah, it's looking pretty rough for our boy Sock, the B-boy from Korea. Peasants still hurt. Not too many towers. This could be broken by 4 Fiends and those heroes. And Destroyers come in. It's getting even worse. Shop being repaired here as much as he can. Naga, she has the boots now for Sock, but barely any experience. Finally breakers come in. Yeah. But how long did this take?
Forever. 37 supply only for the human. 50 for 1-2-0 is not able to break upkeep, but not willing to break upkeep either. Sock, yeah, he has the double income, but look at the corpses. Look at the damage at the towers. This is just domination from the undead. Level 2 Archmage is back, but he could be greeted with a coil again, and he has to run away. This is like the theme of the game for this Archmage. Just run, 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 run. This Archmage is French, I think.
The Naga, she has a bit of an easier time running away, I guess, with those boots, which are still in her inventory. If she's left alone, the Naga for Sock, she can do a decent job slowing down the undead force and hoping for kills, but once she's exposed and she gets right-clicked, she's under a lot of threat herself. Lich once again in the front line with the Frost Armor. Nothing is really here to tank for the undead force, no A-bombs or anything. But with the coils, I guess it's good enough to keep her alive. Now the Naga herself for Sock has to go for the potion. These heroes always have to live such a scared life.
Yeah, and once the shop is down, how is he supposed to heal them? There is no priest for him. And no potions available. Of course, Lich is approaching level 3 as well. We have Coil Nova, Fork Lightning now. But yeah, low mana, as you said. The numbers of breakers are rising, so he has something to work with against the Fiends. 2 of them are low. Coil can be thrown onto 1. But the statues are doing a phenomenal job in the bag. Not even a destroyer up here yet.
Yeah. The Regen, once again, carrying the undead. Oh, the AM there was in great danger. Has a TP away. Not towards the expansion, but rather to the main. And what is left here now? A couple of towers and breakers which are basically dead. Sock needs to come up with a big force down here. Militia, something. He needs to hold this base. There's no way he can afford to lose this expansion.
Yeah, look at Sock's side of the base, of the map. He didn't creep at 1-0 side of the map. He didn't creep anything. Coil Nova, GG. This is the 2-0 and match points for 1-2-0 now. The Undead didn't creep a single camp this game and was still 4-3-2.